hello. And especially hello to all my new subscribers. I got so many after that initial video in this CRUST PUNK series.
If these trends continue, hey!
And in fact, I'm going to make a third video just because of so many bands that were mentioned in the comments in that one, and hopefully in this one. If after watching this video and the previous video, there's a band that you think I should have mentioned, please put it in the comments, because I'm going to make a third video just of the bands that were recommended to me by y'all. And I really appreciate that. I felt like I was kind of stepping out of what I was comfortable with, the metal world. Metal is not so much a lifestyle as punk music is, so I'm glad that the comments were overwhelmingly positive, and it has inspired me to continue with this. I think I'm going to do one on oi punk as well. That's another genre of punk that I've really enjoyed over the years. My initial video, if you haven't watched that one, covers the UK punk, the CRUST PUNK, where it originated, and as well as the Swedish, my favorite Swedish one. So this video is going to cover the Japanese and the US CRUST PUNK bands. There are CRUST PUNK bands examples from all over the world, as I've discovered, especially in the comments that y'all have provided me. So thank you very much. So 2 top 6 lists in this video. If you're not familiar with my channel, I usually do 3 top 6 lists, but that's a metal thing. You get where I'm going with that. I know, cringe, goofy, whatever you want to say, but it's a thing I've been doing. And so I guess we're going to start now over in Japan. The first Japanese CRUST PUNK band I want to recommend to you is Gloom. They have more maybe noisecore influences than I typically enjoy. And I don't know if they were trying to go off the more famous sounding Doom, and this was just the Japanese Doom, or what. And the one I'm going to recommend, Perdition. It's like 10 minutes long. I think they consider it a full length though, but that's kind of the weird stuff you get into in the punk world. You'll have EPs that are 27 minutes long and an LP that's 12 minutes long. I don't really get the designations. I think it's kind of goofy. I just deal in releases. I don't care if it was a demo or whatever format it was put out in. But yeah, an LP. Pretty good stuff, right? Well, this band I'm recommending, Zoe, I'm not sure if that's how you really pronounce it. It looks like that name. Zoe has a member of Gloom in it. And I would say this is kind of the Japanese Amoebics. If Gloom wasn't really the Japanese Doom, this band is absolutely the Japanese Amoebics. The whole shtick, the atmosphere, everything about it, they really nailed the Amoebic stuff except for the vocals. The vocals do kind of irritate me, and that's why I don't have it higher on this list. This one is from 2004, so a little bit more recent. I think more recent than any release I put thus far on the previous video or this one. Check it out. Now we have Disclose. This is definitely the Japanese Discharge. This is a chainsaw guitar attack. This is hella good, and they're pretty well known. I think even Kim Kardashian is a fan. That's a little less plausible than, I guess, Lady Gaga being a fan of Doom. I'm kind of iffy on either of those being true. But unfortunately, Disclose no longer exists, as the singer died a little while ago. Check out this one from '97. And now maybe the longest standing band in my list here. 40 years I believe they've been around. Crow. Now sometimes they go by the Japanese symbol, whatever their alphabet is called. But yeah, this is the one I'm going to share with you. Midway through their career, like 2005 I believe, this album came out. This is hella good, and the cover is, to me, very reminiscent of an early Amoebix EP. I believe their EP was from '83. But regardless, we're not talking about UK crust punk, we're talking about Japanese punk, so check it out. Right, now we're really getting into my favorite stuff right here. Zuhu, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This EP was from '84, way back. You may notice the satanic imagery here also, but I don't really hear any of the Hellhammer, Venom type influences in this whatsoever. This is a metallic, hardcore, crusty release that you really got to check out. The cuckoo vocals really put it over the top for me. Alright, without a doubt, my number one, my favorite Japanese crust punk release is from '83, way back. Original, Jism. Jesus Christ, the vocals in here are nuts. and not just the vocals, the vocalist. He was something else, and unfortunately he passed last year. He died. Let's just say it. He died last year. But yeah, look at this cuckoo stuff he does, or did. You got to check out the vocals. He was an anarchist, but that was on their album cover originally. But I think more of the G.G. Allin type anarchist, and not maybe a Lysander Spooner or anybody of that ilk. Anywho, if you haven't heard JISM yet, I am so glad I could open you up to them because they're fucking amazing. Check this out.
Desperate the screams, desperate the screams, desperate the scream.
Now over to the US. For whatever reason, the US didn't really pick up on all the crust punk stuff until really the 90s. It was going strong in Sweden and Japan, as I've showed you, as well as where it started in the UK for a good 8 years before really anything of sustenance was released in the United States. But one of those early bands I want you to check out is NWOBHM. While it is, I believe, the first US crust punk release, it's not the first American crust punk release. And yeah, now we're getting into semantics, and maybe I'm being a little pedantic. And you get those arguments online all the time where people say America isn't for the United States of America. Whatever. All right, now technically the first American crust punk release was by Ratos de Paro, Crucifados de Sistemas. Obviously, through my fantastic pronunciation there, you can tell that's Portuguese and not Spanish. This is a Brazilian band. Now, while there was a pretty decent punk scene going on in Brazil at the time that this was released in '84, there was nothing. I'm not familiar with anything else with such a hard edge. This was really different, put it over the edge, and I would say this is what influenced even the black metal in that country to really develop more of a war metal sound. Even their thrash metal was kind of going more into the blackened war metal sound. And I would say a lot of that is due to the influence and the how successful Ratos de Porra was. I don't know. I hear a huge influence in all that Brazilian stuff that I enjoyed that was released a couple 5 years later. So I think it was an influence. If you don't hear it, I don't know. Check it out. Let me know.
preciso mudar o sistema policial porque ele estava todo a pau. Gente decente, é preciso mudar o sistema policial porque ele estava todo a pau. Gente inocente e tem que proteger a população. Crime agredido a um cidadão sem nenhuma razão. Agressão, repressão, agressão, repressão. É preciso mudar o sistema policial porque já estamos cansados de agressão, agressão, repressão, agressão, repressão, agressão, repressão.
Right, back stateside, upper Midwest. Kind of strange place for a crust punk band. Minnesota. They always had a music scene going on there, pretty diverse music scene, as far as I can tell. I mean, everything from Bound for Glory to Prince coming out of that area. But we also got State of Fear. And on this EP, the photograph on here is one of the world's most famous photographs, and there's almost a 0% chance you've never seen this photograph before. And I believe it's what turned the world's eyes towards what was happening, or actually is happening. In the Sudan, there's another terrible war happening in Sudan right now. But I think there's a couple other wars happening somewhere. I don't know. I guess it's distracting everybody between what's going on in Africa. People don't ever pay what's attention going on in Africa. You know, the largest war post-World War II in terms of casualties took place in Africa. Anywho, check out State of Fear. Right, now halfway through the US list, and we're finally onto a band I've actually seen live, Drop Dead. Now they're a Rhode Island band that took their name from a Siege song. They have some of those thrashcore influences that Siege had. They have enough crust punk in there for me to add them to this list. I actually saw them with a band I probably should have mentioned in the previous video, Hellbastard. They're from the UK. It goes deep in the UK. That was a fantastic show. The singer for Drop Dead actually owns a record store also that if you're ever in southern New England, I highly recommend you check out. There's another good record store in southern New England, In Your Ear Records also, that I think you should check out.
The creatures move in order, uniformed, daily to obey. Red ones, captain lies like children, voiceless, you're still in carry on. Still in carry on, limiting a meaningless expression of their power and complete control.
Right, continuing here in New England, we got Disrupt. Now this might have been the earliest crust punk band I had heard, as they were on Relapse, and when I first got into extreme music and I was exploring, Relapse's catalog was one of them I was running through early on. So to me, they sound very much like the UK sound. In fact, Extreme Noise Terror, who I didn't mention, Maybe should I? And Doom. Those two combinations. Let me know what you think. Check it out.
Justice always arises and a new man is clearly wrong. I've got these spiritual limits for me to solve the feeling I need to believe. The rest live in legend, die in misery. But now it comes on the face of far from the animal suffering. So come to die, stop the torture.
All right, and number one from the United States, a band my daughter actually showed me a couple years ago. They really encompass to me the whole crust punk sound. The anger, the despair, the buzzsaw, the catchiness, like everything wrapped up into one. Dystopia. I don't know how else to describe it, but to me this is crust punk. Over from California. Check it out. Alright, so that completes that list as well. Are there any bands you think I should have mentioned? Please put it in the comments. I will be sure to put them in my third video, in the next video. And while I was doing this, I thought I'm going to have another top 6 list in that video as well. And it's going to be all the diss bands. The whole D-beat, crust punk trope of so many diss bands really got me interested. It gets kind of confusing sometimes, but I'm going to lay them out for you. At least my favorite ones in that next video. That's more of a trope than even doing the whole anti thing. Is there an anti-diss or a diss-anti band? I don't know. They became a little too self-aware, and I don't know if it's goofy or if it's just trying to maintain like a uniform or whatever. I can understand Japanese bands doing it because they kind of lean into things that they don't really understand sometimes, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I could probably run through like 10 diss bands right now that I would put on the list. But you know what I'm going to do? Bands I didn't mention in either of the videos that are diss bands. All new stuff. So yeah, I thank you very much for all my new subscribers, all my old subscribers, anybody who regularly comments. I really thank you very much. For a channel this size, any little bit absolutely helps. Thank you.